Dr. SY Quraishi, former Chief Election Commissioner, joining us now exclusively on the show. Dr. Quraishi, pleasure to speak with you as always. Can you explain to us first why this National Party status is very, very important?
Actually, Tamanna, you have already answered all the questions which you raised. The formula for recognizing a party as a national party or a state party and the benefit it gives. It is all mathematically worked out. There is no politics into it. You have already mentioned say 6% votes in the Lok Sabha and at least 4 states, or 2% of Lok Sabha seats in 3 states, which means 11 seats, or state party in 4 states. Now, if some party after the latest election falls short on any of these, it is likely to lose that status, which is exactly what has happened. And if somebody improves the electoral performance, they benefit, as has happened in the case of Aam Aadmi Party. The other thing is, what are the benefits? You've already mentioned, but the most important thing which you mentioned is the star campaigners. Now, star campaigner means that any expenditure, otherwise, as you know, there is a ceiling on expenditure by a candidate. It used to be 70 lakhs for Lok Sabha, maybe it is 80 or 90. Now, but if 2 star campaigners come in a helicopter with 2-3 visits, the entire 70 lakh, 80 lakh will be wiped out. Now, these are not counted against the expenditure of the candidate. This is the biggest benefit, which they are likely to lose now. The other is that they get free electoral copies of the electoral rolls. Thirdly, they get free time on Doordarshan and All India Radio to make their case and to appeal to the voters. So these are the main benefits. And it keeps happening. Parties keep getting upgraded. They keep getting downgraded.
So Dr. Quraishi, just to understand, this does not mean that they can't, they can't fight the elections in 2024, right? And how much of a hit is it that you can't use the same symbol across states?
No. Because once the symbol is blocked, it cannot be given in other states also. It will. I personally feel, as far as I remember, it doesn't affect the symbols. Of course, they can fight at the election in 2024 with the disadvantages which you mentioned and I explained to you, that particularly in the context of the expenditure on the star campaigners. Now, instead of 40 with the star campaigners who go and whose expenditure will not be counted against the candidate, now it will be reduced to 20 because they have now become state parties. So, which is I think the biggest consequence, because free copies of electoral roll is a few thousand rupees. Actually, it doesn't really matter. But time on Doordarshan and All India Radio in many areas, it matters a lot. And national parties get the time according to their national status. State parties get the very, very small share.
It also seems to be a status symbol. Frankly, the way it's being celebrated and denounced by various parties. Aam Aadmi Party is already congratulating its cadre, saying, you've made this happen. The TMC is looking at legal recourse. I want your comment on the legal recourse option as well, and whether it's also a status symbol.
Yeah, no, status symbol definitely it is, because in the case of Aam Aadmi Party, for instance, you will see that instead of a Delhi-based party, then it expands to Punjab and it is expanded in the northeast. So, of course, it shows their political expansion, which is a very significant thing. As regards the legal recourse, I don't think there will be any legal point here involved. I'll give you one very interesting case which came up when I was the CEC. Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav, he lost, as you had mentioned, say you have to have 6% vote, at least 6% vote in 4 states. He got 5.99% votes. We were very sympathetic to him because 5.99 and 6, there is hardly any difference. And as you know, this was a principle of rounding off a figure. So we thought, well, it is nearly 6. Till when we had when our legal advisor, who is always sitting in our meeting, pointed out that the language of the rule, it is not a law, it is a rule made by the Election Commission itself. It says that you should not have less than 6% vote. Now, 5.99 is less than 6%. So, therefore, we had no choice. It is not our discretion. And therefore, in such a situation, what can the court do? Because it is a totally a
No,
mathematical
I want to come to
calculation.
you on that, Dr. Quraishi, because it seems to be discretionary to some extent. These questions were raised even after 2014 election. But the Election Commission chose to take a more benign view. That has not been taken. So is there an element of discretion?
No. That's exactly what I was trying to explain. Because if we had the element of discretion, we would have used it in favor of Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav, because 5.99 is very close to 6.
Yeah.
But
it's a rounding
because
error.
in the legal language, 5.99 is less than 6. And the language is it should not be less than 6%. So therefore, we had no choice. So therefore, being benign or, a charitable interpretation, that is not possible as far as I know.
No, so once again, I come back to the question of the discretion which was used post 2014, because if these same rules had applied post the 2014 Lok Sabha elections, perhaps some parties would have been knocked off the national party list earlier.
I don't know. I don't know what it requires facts, and I don't know the facts about 2014 incident which you're mentioning.
Okay, so it is not discretionary, rule is rule, loss of status, but not much else. Thank you for explaining that. Dr. SY Quraishi there.
And elections keep on happening, they can improve. In the next election, they can improve also.